And we're gonna go ahead and start on time.
Yeah, 'cause your committee, I'm here.
People time is of importance.
That's right. Right. Where the chief at?
I told you, your hair looks nice. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to see another day. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to be with us as we conduct the city business as it relates to public safety. We ask you for favorable traveling grace for everyone who may be on their way to this meeting. We ask you this blessings and many more. Amen.
Amen.
All right, let me welcome everyone for this public safety meeting. Today, part of the committee meeting that the council have is to look at some of the things that come before the council and try to streamline the procedures and come back with recommendations. And public safety is one of the big issues that come up from time to time. So today we have our police chief here, Chief Fulford, as well as our fire chief, Chief Graham. And as you see before you, the agenda items to be discussed, we have the municipal judge, police department, fire department, and other related matters. On last night, I was asked to look into some public safety lights as it relates to Dallas Avenue. I did put a call in today to Alabama Power to see would it be feasible for us to put a stoplight up there on Dallas Avenue where Mr. Centel was hit and killed at. I know it's a traffic count or something that you all have to do also too, am I correct, Chief? Right. So I don't know what's like there before or not. But I guess what we can probably do is whoever's in traffic, if we can look into that. It's on Dallas Avenue, Dallas Avenue, what's that street is, Chief? Where Mr. Centel was hit at, killed. It was Dallas Avenue, I know. And that Christian Hill was coming out to Dallas Avenue.
There is a light at Dallas and Crescent Hill. That's a light at.
Okay. Cause I know they say something about it was dark or there's something like that.
They was want a street light.
Right.
They want a street light.
But there is a traffic light.
It's traffic lights there. They would want a street light.
Okay, I would, yeah,
Right.
okay. I
That's
guess
what they talking about, a
okay.
street light.
All right, I
What
would
we
check.
have been talking about.
Okay. Well, we can get one, however, but they're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, right, cause they
They're
wouldn't
gonna have to
get
pay
it
for
to
it,
us.
so I guess that can be something that we can look at. I would put a call into Alabama Power today, just waiting for them to give me a call back. And also one of the requests is the sinkhole down at the park, Phoenix Park. I was able to get a quote from someone today where they were fencing in and surround everything for about $6,000. The fencing in.
Just the fence it in?
Yeah, the whole thing, and so I will have to give you a copy. I don't have it with me. I thought I did, but they're kind of steep. But they'll keep it there for about 6 months or something like that.
And they gonna take it down?
Take it down, put it up, and everything.
So really, we not buying the fence, are we?
No,
We just leasing, they just renting it for
Sound like we
$6,000? For $6,000?
Sound like but I have to get the PO. I didn't bring. I wish I had it with me. I walked out, but I would bring it before the council. I emailed it. I forwarded y'all a copy of it.
But we do need to get it up, because, the more it rains, the more that dirt washes away. Cause we will get 90% of rain in here, tomorrow.
It's already.
It's already raining, but we're supposed to get 90% of rain. We need to get that fence up.
Okay, definitely. So, we would, I definitely look into it and see can we go ahead and move that up because If not, like I said last night, it's like the stairway to hell,
Yeah, we got to do something.
and it's bad. Okay, item number one, the municipal judge, you know, Major Madison, who is currently, city attorney now, he vacated that position when he became city attorney. So now it leaves a spot vacant. And, you know, whenever it comes down to a selection process, with the municipal judge, I'm gonna ask them to put it out for resumes for anyone who may be interested in being the next municipal judge. Put it out, if you forward me a resume, the committee would look at the resume, and from there, we may just call you and just see a little Q&A, and based upon how many we may have, if it's 6, 7, whatever, we would just select the top 3, and we'll bring it before the council to select our next municipal judge. The municipal judge is the appointment of the council.
Yeah.
However, but the presiding judge is the appointment of the mayor. So it's going to be very crucial that we go ahead and move forward with that. I would also send something to the newspaper. Dave, I ask you to help me with this task to make sure anybody who may be interested in the municipal judge to please send a resume. They can send it to my email address.
Okay.
You got my email?
I'll get with you on
Okay.
that.
All right.
I'll get that up.
Yeah, we're gonna probably try to do it, what would you probably say, Councilwoman, maybe 10 days, maybe?
Yeah, because right now they're not having court for 2, they're not having city court at all, no.
Okay.
They put a
Well,
hold on it.
It stopped in December.
Yes, that's when I said we need to go ahead on and, go ahead on and start. on-
okay, well, what we probably can do is, what's the day? Tuesday? Let's do it for a week.
Yeah,
Give
today
them a
is the
week.
4th.
Yeah, let's do it for next,
Wednesday to Wednesday.
yeah, Wednesday to Wednesday. And then if we need to call a special call meeting between that time, it only should take on one day for interview process. And then we can just do the interview process. And then if we need to call a special call meeting.
Yeah,
let's
because
go
we
ahead
need
and
to go ahead on and move on that, so we can continue the court date.
Yeah, because it'll be too time consuming. It'll be too time consuming to wait till the second. Wait till the second meeting in February. Yeah, that's too time. Oh, we're just talking about Councilwoman Youngblood, the municipal judge. Probably just open it up for resumes from Wednesday to Wednesday. Email the resumes, we look at them. And then, after that, probably just do it Monday.
Speaking of municipal judges, I need to take up Judge Haygood right now.
Huh?
I've come to you before. Judge Haygood is taking, well, you need to talk to Ms. Wade about something. I've talked to you before.
Oh, okay, something like that.
Yeah, and if something's not done, I'm gonna be making a motion at the next council meeting. We may be looking for 2 judges.
Okay.
I've had it.
Okay. Is this food with a salary or something?
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but some other things too.
Okay. All right.
And something else too.
Since last time we talked?
Well, just, you know,
Okay, we'll talk. Okay. Now to the,
his management of cases. He ought to be recusing himself on some things that he's not.
No.
When it could, but anyway, I think the chief might know what I'm talking about a little bit. But anyway, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, chief.
okay. I'm not.
We'll talk.
Okay, we'll
later,
talk.
Mr. President.
Also, to the police department, I know, Rocky Mountain Chief here.
Pardon?
I've got something to tell you too.
Okay.
Okay, also too, with the police department, I asked, Chief Fulford, would it be possible if we can set up something maybe with the school system to talk about, human trafficking, yeah. Set up something with the school system about setting up a forum about talking about the human trafficking, because as you notice, during the early morning hours of schools, we have a lot of students and females walking to school.
Oh, yes.
And I feel that we definitely need to do something to at least alarm them of it. Because I was reading the media, I think, this past weekend in Prattville, not Prattville, but Tuscaloosa. They had a sex ring that made 22 arrests was made.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them, they brought in some prostitutes from the Greensboro area and Meridian, Mississippi. And, you know, with the adoption of these young females now, and we have so many of them walking to school, and I feel that it would be in the best interest that, you know, that the chief form and coalition, where they can have, at least have a panel to just talk to school girls about being careful of your surroundings, and where you need to be and stuff like that. So that's, I've already talked to the chief about it, and he said he would be getting, you know, he would be moving forward with that. Anything else from your department, chief, you'd like us to address now with the public safety and everything?
Not at this time.
No funding issues?
Well, we talked about the holiday.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad, yeah. Can you bring that before us? Cause that's one thing.
With the holidays at one time, if an officer was off during a holiday, that holiday was more so what we maybe call the bank, that they could use at another time. But now we are at the point where if the officer off, they're getting paid for the holidays, and what has happened since that's been stopped, there were holidays left that a lot of officers had. So that time has accumulated, and now the holidays, they might have like 4 or 5 holidays that's just sitting there that can't anything be done with it. So we're trying to see if we could maybe pay the officers for those days that was accumulated.
Okay, also too, chief, if I'm not mistaken, that action cease and desist, not from the legislative branch of government, am I correct?
Right.
Okay. It was stopped by not the legislative branch of government. But see, the concerns that I think we need to move forward, this is number one, it's not in the personnel manual where you can take actions like that. Number two, the council's on the personnel manual, and I think we need to move forward with the recommendation. I guess we'll get with Ms. Wade to find out how much that would be. And in light of that, I think we need to amend that personnel manual for future references, say, you know, if this were to occur again, there should be a caveat there with like extreme circumstances, like shortage of manpower and stuff like that. I think that needs to be amended in the personnel manual if this situation ever occurred. But I think we just need to get with Ms. Wade to see how much it would be, and we need to make the recommendation to move forward with it, because the concern that I have is the executive branch of government will not just abruptly stop that without coming before the council. Ms. Wade?
You saying how much it would be that's due back to? I would need in this HR department for that information, because I don't know how the bank was set up and who's been accumulating or keeping track of that information. Do you know?
Our finance person, Ms. Tiffany Dawson, she keeps up with all those.
That might be the most expedited way of getting it done accurately.
All right, and because I wouldn't have a clue as to how it was done, but if you could give me the names of the officers, and you said they'll get paid, those holiday pay will be just regular times, regular salary, hour, regular pay?
Right.
Okay,
So you can give me that list and I can do that calculation, but I don't have a way to verify, but I will give a calculation based on the information provided.
And, cause I wanted to bring it before the committee, cause that'll be a recommendation that we can, once Mr. Wade get the total, we can regulate it Tuesday to vote to move forward with it. Also too, it was another officer too.
That's right. Sergeant Gibson, as you know, he was involved in a accident, and he's been off for some time now, and he's gonna have to have a major surgery.
Hip replacement.
Yes, sir. Have to have a total hip replacement. So he had some vacation time that's rolled over it, but you know, if we can't carry it with so much time, so we're trying to see if we can freeze that time for him.
That could be mitigating circumstances, health issues. If you just put that, just email it to the chief.
I will.
We'll make that part of the recommendation, which you just said, along with the back time pay, because, I have also checked the situation that he's talking about, the holiday pay, with some of our former HR directors. And they do remember that, you know, from time to time it used to be like that. But like I say too, you just can't make an impromptu decision like that without coming before the body asking us to, you know, to vote on it. Now, if you probably would've came before us and asked us to vote on it, to amend it, that would have been another situation. But for you just to abruptly say, no, go to hell or whatever you say, no.
But let me ask you
That's
this.
gonna catch us on catch 22.
But let me ask you, when you said, you just have to ask me the question about the personnel manual, are you talking about, do the police officers have a different personnel manager?
It's still not.
Does it still be in the one of the whole entire, the city personnel manual book? So everything falls up under, even with the officer with their sick time, vacation time, and all that falls up under.
But see, the thing is too, I asked the council too, if they would allow me to get someone to look over the HR manual. This individual has, you know, worked with other municipalities and helped her with the personnel manual. So let her look at it, because I'm telling you, Councilwoman Youngblood can tell you, with the lawsuits upon us, that's gonna be a slippery slope. And if we don't address this matter with the personnel manual, it can also be vicarious liability on the behalf of the council for not doing our due diligence to try to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can I add?
Yeah.
A little something to that is, you know, if we have personnel that moves into the administrative level of things where when our firefighters are coming offline, you know, and they have built up 448 hours of vacation leave, and then you move over to administrative and they're on 320 hours, well, they can't get the rest of their hours off by the end of the year.
The end of the year is considered December for you all, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm thinking along, because I'm on the end of the year.
So something needs to be amended to that, to if you're moving into administrative levels, that something, either they need to be paid that vacation leave by the end of the year, or it needs to, the problem that we're going to run into.
We need to look at the manual because we're gonna have to do something else. I don't know of any other governmental entity that pays you all of your vacation pay at the end of the year. Now, like I know at IP and the railroad, some places will let you buy your vacation and stuff like that, but like the state, I know the state of Tennessee, the federal government will let you carry a portion to your retirement and let it add a certain amount goes towards your, portion of it goes towards your retirement. A portion of your sick leave goes towards your retirement. But you don't get to carry over 100%, keeps rolling over at 100%. It doesn't work like that. We're gonna have to look at it like that.
Yeah, see, and that's why the city gonna
Yeah.
be broke.
That's why
But
so
see,
many don't get the
the
money.
HR is tying our hands into it because
It's
it's in
in
the
the
HR
book.
book.
Well,
It's in
we're
the
gonna,
book.
We got to amend that
we're
book.
gonna have to redo it.
Yes,
What
you
did
got-
Auburn do? Nothing on that? Did they not even look at that? Well, we're gonna have to
That's why I
amend
asked
that
somebody,
quickly.
And can we look at some as to like the dropout program and even the sick leave bank, you know, where you can have so many
Well,
hours
we'll,
that you can give somebody sick time?
Mhm. Yeah, because see, when we're looking at, you know, but, you know, this is public safety, but like I said, I do have some people that, we can look at, somebody who's, HR person. A HR person that, to have them to look at it, because I'm telling you,
Our personnel committee needs to look at that, don't we have one?
Oh, you talking about like, on the board?
James Ware,
On the board, you talking
Oh,
about?
doesn't the council have a personnel
No.
committee?
it's the administrator.
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 We'll talk about that, that's a whole nother issue,
Yeah,
that's a
sure.
whole nother thing.
Anything else, Chief?
That's it.
Okay. Fire department. Also, too, Chief, before we get into it, can we have them fire vessels to go around here to some of these clubs and check the capacity, from time to time? I would tell you one club
I need,
in particular, off the record, though, along with you and the chief, you know, one of them in particular.
I need to make contact with him and try to see if we can't set up a date so we can, both work, together in that capacity so that we can, handle that situation. We don't have a whole lot of bars, but there are some bars.
Yeah,
out
one
there.
of
Some are
them,
operating, they're not supposed to be on.
Bootleg.
so.
yeah, bring your own bar. Councilwoman,
yeah, I wanted to ask you too, have you, I wanna ask you about the litter. Have you made that aware to the officer? You know, like, faster we clean up, on the main streets, this is litter that people throw out of their car. And, have you talked to them about that?
Yes, ma'am. Right after you talked to me, I sent out a mass email to all the supervisors to let their patrolmen know that while they're out, to be, if they see someone throwing out trash, to make sure they get cited so we can, get them in the court to deal with them.
Yeah, because fast as we clean up on Summerfield, we go through and pick up so much litter. This is litter with cars driving and it being thrown out. Fast as we pick up, then we gotta go back down through, back again. We gotta go in there now again, go all the way back and pick up litter. And that's a main area that people drive.
Let me tell you, on Crescent Hill and Old Man Junction Road and Cahaba Road at that confluence, it's awful. And see, I can't have people picking up there because it's so dangerous, the way it's situated and all that. And I could get people to come and even bring, because we've got, since the city had, it's been 3 years since the city's brought anything and cut the little, how the little
Zag
trees
trees.
come up and all that, it's just hideous. And I have people, I'm giving you notice that it's a danger and, you know, blah, 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 so that they can, you know, set up a lawsuit. Well, I would do it myself. I mean, it is just dangerous where it is. You know, when I had those things, I think you were the one that brought those cones.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is just dangerous. We almost got killed a couple of times that day. And then it's even worse on the other side in front of where Dr. Bohannon lives, you know, right on the hill. But anyway, yeah, it's just awful.
Yeah, you get too much litter, you know, our city shouldn't be, litter on Main driving every day. People just, and we work so hard, you know, people get not doing
Who
it.
is that person?
So maybe we start getting catching some of these.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry today.
I need to look at that too. I mean, I
And
got
then
about,
another thing I wanted to ask too, Corey, of him, patrol,
Somebody's girlfriend.
in our is it, are we gonna be able to have more patrol in some of our areas?
Yes, ma'am. I've got, compliments from several citizens that they're seeing, more officers around through the neighborhood now, so.
That's what I wanted to know.
also too, Chief, the JAG grant, do we have, do we reallocate it, does that start to the fiscal year, October? How much money do we have in the JAG money?
I'm not sure the exact amount, but I talked with Sergeant Blanks, last week, and we're gonna start using that again during the Jubilee time. Yes, we're gonna get a lot of manpower during that time.
How about that wait and see, how we coming along with the paperwork and all the stuff like that?
We have a meeting, on the 11th at 10 o'clock at the Y, and, we're staying on top of that also.
And also, I want to say this too, Corey, I want to recommend the Weed and Seed. They are trying to do some things in our resident. I was the first one that they called to ask, like we have a lot of these burnt homes in our community that need to be taken down. They called me and asked me to, in 3 areas in my community. They send pictures and things so they can try to remove some of the bad area where we have problems.
Okay.
Well, that's a start. They're showing
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
first time that I ever in our area that
That's one.
they stepped in, asking me to clean up.
Yeah, and the thing we're having Friday, we may be able to get a little extra money to do that too. I'm hoping one of those sources.
All right. Chief?
Okay, no, I didn't know that was in the newspaper, so
No, I,
just now read that.
I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, because I got an idea.
It showed.
I read it
too.
Well, this is about the fire thing, building else and the.
I know.
Did you read this?
I read it.
I'm with you.
I read it too. I
Did you
said,
read this?
No.
Yes, okay, well,
Go ahead.
after we finish everything else.
Okay, Ms. Thomas, you'd asked about some things that I was requesting in my budget.
Yeah.
So I presented you a letter of some things that we need to have within the department. It's the same thing that I've been requesting for from the beginning, except for it has a little bit of change, some things that were pulled off of it, so. Number 1 on this list right here.
yeah, I had one. Gave it to Nikki, she didn't bring it back. No, not to me, mine.
she made copies of them, I think she put them down here.
Oh, okay. I didn't get mine back.
So number 1 is association dues. This is due to the fire investigation. I'm asking for an increase of $1,200 to increase that. That's to deal with the LETS program, access to when they have to do background checks and things like that. They have to make access to that. They can't utilize the police department on that. The fire department has to have their own. So with the fire investigation team being put forward within the department, there needs to be an increase in our association dues right there for $1,200, and that's for a year. And it's done on a quarterly basis. It's $300 a month.
So is this dealing with those fire investigators that you just got out of the class?
Recently, yes, ma'am.
How many was it?
3.
It was 3 of them.
So they have association dues they have to pay?
Yeah, that's the program that they have to be able to make access to when they're doing their investigations and things on different individuals.
Okay, that's just like a law book that,
It's a program, and Chief Fulford could give you a little bit more detail into what the LETS program is. I kind of hit on it just a little
But
bit.
if they need to run somebody because of an arson case, they can access it through the lead system.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's good.
All right.
The next thing is I was asking for 2 vehicles to replace the chain chief vehicle and also the fire vehicle that we have. The expedition that we've got is no longer operating, so we can't actually utilize like if I needed to have 4 or 5 people that I'm sending to school, I don't have a vehicle that I can actually send them in. And that battalion chief vehicle is just getting to the point where it's getting to the point where it's just falling apart. And it's a 2012 model, and that training vehicle is a 2000 model. So that's a 20-year-old vehicle, it's no longer working. So I'm asking for an increase of about $60,000 to that line for that.
Well, can I ask you a question? Do we have, in our line item in this budget, is this an add-on? Are you asking for more out of this?
Asking for an increase to it.
An increase
Yes,
to it?
ma'am.
'Cause can I ask you this too? Didn't before, you came before us before about a vehicle that y'all was trying to get? When you brought all the things that you were required for?
Yeah, it was these two vehicles.
But I'm just saying, didn't we, correct, or did we agree? Do you remember, Susan?
What?
When he came before us, remember when he came before us and he told us that he needed another vehicle for the fire department? I thought in the minutes that, didn't we agree for him to get the vehicle? We didn't agree?
Honey, I've slept since then, I don't remember.
I thought we did, that's the reason I was wondering why. I remember he did come before
But
us.
I think if he would have known, whether we received it or not, so that's why he's asking for it. Because I know evidently we said no or come back before us.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why I'm coming back and asking, because these line items, these things right here is what I'm
And
asking.
they're
to
very
increase.
important that you need.
Right. Yes, ma'am. I had went through, like I said before, I went through the budget, from the previous time that I came to y'all, and I looked at it and said, okay, well, can I cut some things back? And, I cut a couple of things out of that. The next thing is the computer software, equipment that we need to have. Right now, I think the police department is under New World, but the fire department's not. That's $79,000.
New world, old world now.
And New World just cost us
A lot of money.
Let me ask you a question.
millions of dollars, and Johnny has started way before.
In
I mean, it started
08?
way before it
08,
started.
yeah.
New World, ain't doing nothing.
That's if somebody, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody's getting some kickbacks from that.
Somebody ain't right with the New
It's not
World.
right, and it has never
what I'm
worked
saying.
right. It has never worked right from day one.
And let me ask you also, it should be still some bond fund. I know I always
Yeah, it's
ask,
here, dude.
I always ask Ms. Curtis about the bond fund.
Oh, please.
She said yes, because she
Why
said
can't,
it's,
why, Ms. Wade,
Yes, sir.
we have about another, can we use some of that bond fund?
For what?
From this software, computer software, New World increase.
There's most of the money, the bulk of the money is left in the IT department. How much
Yeah.
is the software?
79,000.
And that would be a matter of council taking a vote. From what I recollect, is that the council can vote to rearrange the
That
bond
bond
money.
fund, yeah.
because you know, we
So
said.
that would be totally up to you, but before you do that, I would
Need to
recommend that you have a conversation with Bessie in regards to,
When? But she already said that,
right, and aside from that, first recommendation we'll have is look within the fire department's budget and see where the things are be underutilized or what portion that they can come up with themselves within their budget, because that would be less that we would have to come up with outside of the budget line.
Cause y'all have regard to right, Chief?
That's correct. Our system's still down.
well, that's what I was just finna ask. You know, Ms. Bessie had told us, you know, when we was talking about doing the ceiling and putting that stuff back in the IT room, you know, the windows out, and we got the wires hanging down. The IT department she said she have money in there. Maybe we can, after she get what she gonna need to do that, maybe she have enough for her. But she said she has to use it before a certain time.
Let me ask you a question too, Chief, to follow back up on what y'all sister did now. How much of an adverse effect is that having on you all, the uniform crime reports and stuff like that?
Well, right now, we can't do that.
I mean, but isn't that grant, funded? Because,
That helps us get funding.
yeah, because I remember at the college, when I do that, crime report, it was mandated whenever you receive federal dollars, that you have to submit that report.
That's correct.
And you had that since, nothing had been in the paper since what, like April of 2018, man?
19.
Oh, it's
So
2019?
those funds
So this
basically,
was before the hack.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so those funds, that really it's an adverse effect
That's
that
correct.
for future funding could be in the, like a swing of a pendulum.
That's correct.
And then, and I asked Ms. Bessie about that, Chief. She said that you guys are set up. She said y'all have to put the body in there to enter all that information into the system.
That's bull crap.
Now, Ms. Bessie said that's the problem with the police department. She said that, y'all used to have the lady that y'all just made, she's the chief, she your secretary.
Correct.
She said that she used to indate all this stuff in the computer. She said, that is your problem right now. Y'all don't have anybody putting it into the system.
Do y'all even have a system
The
working?
system is down,
The
right?
system is down.
So how can
But
you
she
input-
said the system up. She said that their system is up. All they need, she said, she keep hearing that you don't have anybody over there. Y'all not getting, the system not up. She said, the system is up. All y'all need to do is to get the body to start putting in the
Data
If-
entry.
Yes, that's what she
If the system
said.
is down, you can't input anything.
Well, I'm quite
Am I
sure
right?
Ms. Bessie
Yeah.
hearing this now, it's recorded, and, if they hear us on the mic. She said that we keep bringing it up saying that the police department system is down. She said, but you got to first get someone there to put it in. She said, everything got to be put in, and I think she's thinking that you're looking for another way. But she said, you used to have people sit there and put it in.
Yes, I understand what she's saying.
And they can go cook out with the public works people that go to work, and that's what they
But
do.
I can understand what she's saying now. It's a play, it's a little tongue in cheek. When it was up and running, you had to put the data in there when it was up and running. But now it's down.
But she keeps saying it's up. So tomorrow, Chief, you need to go in and see, is it up? Cause she says it's
Well,
up.
imagine if somebody would tell something that wasn't true.
Okay, Chief.
So on the next thing is, vehicle maintenance and repair, asking for an increase of that to move to, 10,000 to that line item of the vehicle and maintenance repairs. This is due to, the ladder truck. There's some things that need to be repaired on it. It's a 20-year-old vehicle. Most of the lifetime of a ladder truck is about 25 years of life expectancy on that type of vehicle. So there's at least 5 more years of life on
Yeah, I
that
heard
truck.
you say it.
But I do need to have, some more money put in that line item to take care of those issues that are going on with that ladder truck there. And let me back up for a minute and say that number 3 on that computer software stuff, that I am currently trying to work on a technology grant to try to improve that issue that we have in the department. So I'm trying to work on that as well. I'm looking at trying to do a vehicle grant as well for the ladder truck. So when and I can't give you a 100% and say we're gonna get that grant. All we can do is just try to apply for it, and if we get it, we get it. But
Is
to
there
take
any
care of,
matching funds involved in it?
yes, it's always like a 10% matching fund for that.
Can I ask a question?
But it's in its working stages right now, so.
I'd like to ask this to the treasurer.
Yes.
Ms. Wade, did you hear the chief just ask that, he would like to have, $10,000, added over into the funds for the ladder truck? Yeah, let me ask you this, the money that, he's asking for, to be moved into this, what he needs for the fire department, do we see where we can get this money to,
Is he moving within his own line items?
you move it out of your own line, Chief?
Well, that depends on whether or not y'all approve that 2019 budget for a 2020 budget. You know, so.
The budget the budget you had from last year is the same as before. It was what was approved before, and I think we've had that conversation. So that's why we need to do, clarify. We had the clarity as to whether or not the repair for the concrete was in there, and it wasn't. So we had you all to clarify that you were given an additional amount. So that's not affecting your current year budget.
So he can,
My suggestion would be fine to look for areas within the current year's budget that may be currently underutilized. We're about halfway through the year come next month. So look at what you anticipate spending this year, this month and next month, and where you possibly have a cost savings. Because again, last year, there was money left over from last year's budget where he could put that money in for the concrete. And so he may possibly have a cost saving somewhere in his line item this year. Before we just start increasing budgets, I think every department needs to first look within their own budget first to see. And then if we can't, we come back to the table and determine where we can get that money from.
so like the last year budget, if he had any funding still left over,
No, we done passed last year,
Okay.
budget. We in this current year.
that's what I'm
budget.
saying.
Yeah, but you all did allow, since he did not utilize that 40-some thousand last year for the concrete, because the project got delayed, you did approve that amount. But I think if we start getting in the practice of digging back for everybody, then we're gonna run into more problems. Because, you wanna utilize what you have first, to the best of your ability, before you start trying to spend outside the realm of the budget.
So Chief, have you looked at that way yet? What Ms. Wade, the treasurer was saying for you to use?
Well, me and her had both spoke on this before. You know, I needed to have confirmation of, did y'all approve that 2020 budget for last year's 2019?
I think,
If it has, or are y'all still having to vote on my budget to be approved?
no, I think everybody's getting confused because there's two things that's being said. One is not true, and that the council did not approve a budget. They approved the same budget as last year. And I've said that, so maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. And when we had the conversation, I thought we were on the same page when I said about, let's make sure that they approve the carry forward that amount from last year that you did not utilize for the concrete. But in terms of the budget, I clearly said that budget that from last year, beginning of last year, was the budget that was approved. So if we can, I'm not saying it's always possible, but when it is possible, let's utilize the cost savings we may have in a different line item.
So there were,
Okay, so the next things, or the next couple of items I'm asking for, I might need to just back up and just wait on that, but I definitely need to ask for an increase of pay for all our firemen. Our starting out pay needs to be increased. It's not much, but I am asking for a little bit.
what are you asking?
$2,000 per employee,
$2,000 per
And that's-
employee?
and that is not to include, and that's only for the non-exempt employees.
So how much percentage would that break down according to the pay staff?
Well, if you increase
How much
it,
percentage? I'm saying, how much percentage with that? You're asking for 2,000, and if you break it down, how much percentage would that be asking for the increase for them? Have you,
What's about 3%, Ms. Wade?
I don't know, because I don't know which salaries, I didn't know which salary.
Roughly,
You have to do that.
What you trying to do,
You have
blanket
to-
across the board?
all the
Or
way,
what?
like,
You would have to do that for each employee depending on what their salary is.
Based
So
on
just
the
say
year?
if the regular officer's salary is,
28,000.
28,000,
Starting out is 28,000.
Starting out, he said.
So you just
So
do that.
increasing them up to 2,000 and put them at 30,000 starting out. But if you start that one, then you have to do the other.
So it's like climbing the ladder on up to
Yeah,
everybody.
and I mean, and that's what that's the issue that we're having is that we have a pay plan that we have not received back. So we're just throwing random dollar amounts to one employee, then you're gonna have disparity in pay. 2,000 maybe 10% for somebody else, and then maybe 2% for another person. So
Based on the higher you go
so-
up, your income is.
So my recommendation is going back to see if we're gonna have that pay plan included, then
We need that.
You've asked, and we appreciate your doing that, looking out for your folks.
we,
But, I think that, you know, we've gone round and round about that,
We
and
do need
everybody
to-
said, yeah, the Auburn people say, we can't give anybody a raise, because, you know, if we do it for one, we'd have to look at everybody and all that kind of stuff. We couldn't even give our administrative assistant a raise after, God, how many years?
And
Because of the disparity.
then another thing too, this city do need to, we do need to do a pay.
Yeah, I mean, we do,
really-
there's
we
no
really do.
question,
We
there's no
do.
question.
But-
And we're also, until we get the audit back in and see where we are, we don't even know what money we've got. And, but anyhow, listen, I really appreciate and understand what you're doing. And,
Gotta do everything.
That's
public
the chief,
safety, yeah.
that's the chief, you have to advocate on the behalf.
Absolutely,
Right.
we do, absolutely. I did find out that Selma Fire Department pay starts out more than Greenville.
Cause the average starting pay of fire department is 38, the medium size.
Just the population of the city,
Population.
it's the population of the city, isn't it?
Yeah, about 35 with the population this size.
I would say it's roughly around.
So we have a
34,000,
population of like
35,000.
17,000 and so.
I mean, if you look up in the Prattville area, I mean, they're getting paid $37,000 a year.
But you know, but see,
But Grant-
there's something else I talked to you about also, but this is futuristic though, to include that paramedics in with the fire department.
Yeah.
But that's long term though. Our councilwoman?
Do we know Sandra Black? Is she somebody's wife at the fire department, or somebody's girlfriend, or somebody's extra?
I think that's somebody's wife.
Huh?
I believe that's somebody's
Okay,
wife.
well, she wrote a letter to the
It's a
editor,
wife.
and, you know, the council members got these letters a little while back, you know what I'm talking about? When we were trying to pick out a chief and all that stuff. And I, you know, I don't mind, people have freedom to press, all that stuff, but I just don't think that she's stating correct facts. I'll just read this. Dear editor, what the public doesn't realize, the guys working at the Selma Fire Department are being overworked and underpaid. Currently, most of them are being forced to work 48-hour shifts. Is that correct? That they're being forced to work 48-hour shifts?
Well, we have to fill positions within the department when there's no one to be put in place. So I have the responsibility to cover the city 24/7, 365 days a year. And I got to be able to put the correct manpower on the trucks.
Swipe
in order
up
for us
now to
properly,
install the Grammarly keyboard.
man the stations the way they need to be manned. So, yes, they do work extra 24-hour shifts.
Okay.
I have to do that because I don't have enough personnel on each shift to be able to do that.
Okay,
Chief Fulford is probably the same way in the same situation. When
okay.
you don't have the manpower on one shift, you got to have, to be able to pull over onto the other shift.
Okay.
So are you saying forcibly?
Oh, wait a
making them
minute,
work?
but wait, there's more. Because of this, most of the guys only get to see their families every third day. I understand that my daddy worked at IP, and he was the head, but he was the head electrician. Sometimes I didn't see him for days on end because, you know, they're being forced to work when they're sick. Is that true?
No.
They are made to come in and held against their will as if they are prisoners. Are they being kidnapped and forcibly held against their will? Okay. They have been doing this for 2 years with the promise things will get better. They have not actually, and they have gotten worse. The men have been lied to by the mayor, the city council, and the new chief and assistant chief. I don't recollect, have you lied to any of them? Have you lied to any of them, Jane?
No, ma'am.
And I haven't either. Now, I
No,
don't
I have
know.
not.
Some of our counselors may lie to some people.
I have lied to
They
them.
certainly lied to me, but I don't know if they lied to the other people or not.
I know I
The
have.
city
heard
voted
them
to give all city employees a $1,600 once a year raise. Now, you know what? I do not remember, I remember we voted to do that if upon the availability of the money. Is that correct? And I remember that, okay. But when the checks were cut, the city turned a blind eye to public safety, and firemen and policemen got nothing. Now, I remember one time we did that because they had gotten a raise.
That 10% raise.
Because they had gotten a raise that the other people didn't get. And the other folks got, you know, that they got the 10% raise. Public safety got a 10% raise that the other people didn't get, that were making like $7.25 an hour. So the reason those folks got that $16, you know, once a time raise was because they didn't get it, was because they've been getting extra all year long. The guys tried to have a meeting recently that was blocked by Chief Chris Graham. Is that true? The guys tried to have a meeting recently and it was blocked by Selma Fire Department Chief Chris Graham.
Okay, that's gonna be true, and I'm gonna tell you why. You cannot have your own personal meetings without passing information on to the fire chief.
Well, I understand
And
that.
you cannot utilize city property or city vehicles to leave your station and come to have a meeting. So
Well, that is
that's
an
the reason
ethics
why I said that.
violation.
Totally.
Now, but I have told individuals that if you want to have a meeting, I'm not going to stop you from having a meeting. You can have your own meeting. You're just not
Well,
going to
go to
have
their
it.
house and have a
You're just not going
meeting.
to have it on city time.
Sure, city
You
time
live
and
right
city
there.
property and with city stuff.
Correct.
Goes
That's
like,
right, go to your own houses. Okay, there, if you're gonna overthrow the government, that's fine, but don't do it at the government's expense. All right, there won't be an SFD much longer with the current administration. We need to look out for these men. They are staying faithful to protect us and they need a voice. They can't withstand this treatment. They are firemen, not slaves. Well, okay, all right. I don't, sometimes the more you stir a landfill, I'm gonna be nice and say, the worse it smells. But then sometimes when people wanna get nasty and do things like this, we need to set the record straight. So, Mr. President,
can I say this?
well, of course you say anything. It's your
Well, they
meeting as
have
much
a
as
couple
it's
of,
not.
two things they have mentioned about, to us about in public safety. They say they do work over, a lot of overtimes, and couple of them said they don't get enough time to spend with their children. And they said they do need a raise. And, nothing was never promised to them. It was always said that we would try to do what's best for the fire department and the police department. And hopefully, I agree with them on one thing. The time, which we don't have enough, we have not got equivalent enough firefighters to fit in for the time that they work in all this
Right,
overtime.
it takes time. And
Yes.
Chief Fulford also said this as well, within his department. You know, we got to be able to build a fireman, it takes us 2 years, and it's in our city ordinance, that it takes 2 years to build a fireman to become eligible for a promotional exam into a sergeant level. It takes 2 more years in a sergeant level to fill in as a lieutenant promotional. It takes 2 more years as a lieutenant to be able to take a promotional exam and be a captain. So time is against us. Unfortunately, we've had so many that have left the department, either for better pay, and I've told y'all that, I've also expressed this opinion to the mayor. So everybody is all aware that our pay is not very good as in comparison to way when people leave for a higher paying job over in Prattville. We have got to come in some kind of compromise pay scale or pay plan that we can give these guys an incentive to stay here,
Yes.
to be able to move up. So I am in the process of trying to work things with the mayor's office and trying to get some exams done. There's only a very minimal set of people that can be qualified to move into those positions. So I have hired 8, 9 will be Thursday. I got a new guy coming in, and possibly another 10th guy that's going to possibly come in.
Wow.
That I've actually had 2 certified guys put in an application in here in our department. So I am doing what I can to hire these individuals in the department, and exams have got to happen. Promotions have got to be moved up to fill these slots and holes that are there in order to get these guys off this 48-hour issue. But the thing about it is, time is against us. We have got to have time in order to develop the individuals to actually be safe operating in the positions that they're in. Because we just can't hire somebody off the street to be able to drive a fire truck. We can't hire somebody off the street to be a officer on our fire truck, be in charge of the men and the manpower. So
There are some of these firemen and there are some policemen who are in the guard and the reserves. And you know what? They are gone for weeks and months at a time. And, you know, and that's unfortunate when people have to be away from their children. I know that my ex-husband used to work, I know I lived in Nashville and he worked and had to go to work in St. Louis. And he might be gone for 2 weeks at a time and come home for the weekend, have to go 2 weeks, you know, and not be able to even come home every weekend. But they don't work. It's not like they have to work 24 hours a day every day. They work, what, 2 days on and then are off how many days?
they're off one day.
And then off a day.
They work anyway.
Okay.
But it rotates. They may not, certain ones may not be there 24 hours. I mean, I've got part-time guys that come in and they may work 12 hours to be able to alleviate some of that, to let these guys go home and spend time with their families. So I had 9 positions there. And the thing about the part-time is, you know, I required them to come in and work, and if over time they're not coming in to work, then I'm gonna have to pull them off the part-time and try to put some more people in place in that. So.
And, you know, and another thing, this is something that George Evans used to say. He used to tell the police weren't, Chris, you know, you were there when George was the mayor. You know, every once in a while, you know, people would get upset at public works people, the fire department, the police department, and they would get upset about it. And what would George say? He would say, listen, we just can't do anything about your pay right now. If you don't like it, or if you just have to have more money, or you just have to do something else, then do something else. But, you know, don't be coming up here threatening a strike or threatening to do something. If you just have to do something else, then do something else.
Okay.
And I feel like telling Miss Black that. If your husband or your man has to do something else, quit trying to be messy and quit trying to threaten acting like you're, doing like this. Tell your husband to do something else. That's what I feel like saying. I'm sorry.
I'd be glad the camera on, so I just reserve my comment. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Try to keep within a time
Yes.
here.
Well, I just like to say this, I hope our treasurer can, Ms. Wade, can you please, check with the Auburn pay plan again? answer.
I did, I sent you all an email.
No,
did?
She did, yeah.
With that
But my thing
now
is,
she's waiting on, now what she's saying is that she hadn't heard from President Bowie,
What?
and she's waiting on you all to give her a response.
We need to
as
make a
how to
move.
forward. And so there's nothing else that I can do
Okay,
further than
President
that.
heard from us and what?
Those people.
I mean, it's full of it.
Let me tell you something, let me tell you something now. Now, this-
And it wasn't that we hadn't paid
No,
them, they have not completed the final part.
Next
But
time-
they're saying that they needed something from you on the email to respond back to, and so that they can finish the last part.
I can tell you what they can finish, because let me tell you, for the matter of the record, this is purely bull crap.
Yeah, we
Because
need to
when
go
I was
somewhere
going
else.
back and forth with Miss Tamlin, all communications got cut off.
Yes.
Wouldn't return my calls, whatever it is. Miss Wade,
I think that you need to talk to the director that's over her,
Yeah.
so you all can, because what
Yeah,
she's
we
telling
can
her
do that.
boss and what has actually transpired is two different things, so, you know,
I need to start reading my emails more.
Yeah.
Forward that back to me.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many coming in today, yeah, I'm glad
If
you
not,
did.
we need to
Yeah,
go
forward that
forward
to me.
To,
I'm just gonna tell them, I'm going to, I mean, I hate to say this, next time, I just get somebody from the University of Alabama.
he could've got somebody
I mean,
from
we're investing a lot of money, we need to.
Yeah, we could've-
We did invest.
But I mean, what was she said that
She
she was
need to
waiting
give
on?
us our
I'll tell
pay
you.
plan, all the money they done.
Yeah, I have about 40, 50, 100 emails coming in.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and do that. Because
Oh, now they wanna bring me back into the loop now.
well, we need to get that done.
They're being foolish. I don't know what they're
Talk to
doing.
the director.
Yeah, who's the director, whoever the director, I'll call him in the morning.
What about that Dr. Iomo? Is he still there?
No, he's
Or is he just a
he's
consultant?
a consultant at AUM, he's the, criminal justice, specialist.
Well, can I say something?
Mhm.
Chief, please don't think I was coming down on you or being ugly. You know, I love you, I love the fire department, and I understand that they work hard, but when people are saying things that aren't true or half truths, or they don't know exactly what they're talking about, it just makes me mad, especially when we've addressed it.
Yeah,
That's
some
just
of the
not
things in
fair.
there in the editor, in the editor is true. You know, about them working 48 hours. I mean, I have no other choice.
But you only have
to-
27 men.
Right,
You need more people.
Well, and they're not forced to come in when they're sick.
right.
They're not held against their
They
will.
have sick leave, they can call in sick.
And they're not held against their will. I mean, I've asked about that. That is just crazy. I mean, if they are, I want to know it.
Wait a minute, wait. It just hit me. Now, they want day-to-day operation when it's selected. Doesn't this fall up on day-to-day operation, the HR?
I mean, they're accusing you
Just forward it to
of a
me.
crime.
Oh, anything else,
That's
Chief?
crazy.
All right, I'm gonna go.
She said that the university has reviewed and approved a request for a no-cost extension for the personnel project for the city of Selma. Please see the document attached verifying the time and extension signed by the university. Once a representative from the city of Selma signed the form, please return to her. That's what she said, to Ollie back in
Oh my God.
March of 2018. But her email address to you was saying that they previously requested a no-cost extension and that they want to move forward in completing it. The form was not signed and that they need the no-cost agreement in place in order to continue on the Selma project. And it says the particular agreement contains dates and individuals that are no longer accurate, so I will need to update this agreement and resubmit to the city for consideration. Please let me know when the city is ready to proceed with the work on the project so I can provide an agreement with accurate dates and information. Thank you for your assistance. We are prepared to reinitiate the work. And that came back and she sent that on December 17th.
That's 2019?
Yes.
Oh, I was out then, I was out for the holiday.
But we do
So
need
she
to,
sent that to your email, but I'll forward it to you.
Okay, please, sir.
but, and can I put a recommendation on that? Or what, some of the things that, Ms. Youngblood, can I put a recommendation? with some of the things that we need to operate our fire department, like the equipment, like the trucks and things like that. Can we, try to work on that, try to look, ask Ms. Wade to see if, when we have our next meeting, Courtney said we have a budget meeting. Could we work on that, try to work, because that's public safety.
He's the chairman, yeah.
Yeah, this is, public safety is a number one issue to the city.
It absolutely.
And the things that he's requiring for like the vehicle in the,
Go ahead, we definitely can.
okay.
I'm going back to that letter.
But we do need to work on for
Shouldn't
the raise.
trying to look over that too? Before you bring it back for the vote?
Because that's a standstill, somebody, it needs to move, we need to come up with a pay plan for the whole entire.
Well, we've got everything, not until we hear from Auburn, because they.
But I'm just saying, that's what I was saying.
Oh, I know.
Because this too long,
We do
because they've been
have-
saying this since we've been,
Right, we do need
for the
to.
last
I
3
guess
years.
it was normal standing. What we used to do is we have a man bring it to us during his work session, a council meeting, ask the council to vote on it.
Yeah, but also, we've got the issue of, until we really, well, it's, I think within the next couple of weeks, a week or so, I expect to have the audit, people come back and tell us about the audit.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, probably in the next week or two, I
We will.
imagine. And it'd be nice if Auburn would send us the pay plan between then.
But they
so that
can't
we-
send it because of what she just said.
Well, if Corey gets it and signs it and sends
Or
it back.
get the stuff and
Yeah.
let's get it.
And-
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute
No, he will, they'll get it, he'll get it.
Ms. Wade,
now. Wait a minute now.
And then we could have,
I'm confused now.
and then we can work, we can work real hard and then get that done.
I'm
But
confused now.
we need to prioritize like public safety.
Yeah,
We got to.
This is the kicker, I'm just gonna say, this is the pisser. We always have, I have always
That's fine.
prioritized public
Piss on me.
safety.
and that's
And
why.
y'all know that,
We have.
Kenzie, you know that.
Yeah.
I have always prioritized public safety.
Those are two number one things.
Matter of fact, when in 2008,
Police
Corey
department,
knows
the
this,
fire
in
department, those are
2008,
number
and
one thing.
George Evans got spit, fired, and mad at me because, when we were taking a 12.5%
12.5.
across the board cut, and I said, I cannot let public safety take this cut. We've been promising them where there'll be brighter days, and then now we're asking them to go back to 1960, 70 standards. We can't do that to public safety.
Okay.
That's not happening. So-
And I really want him to have the system up, because it's very important
We
that
need
we,
to get
the county is putting out, more information about what's going on with there,
Yeah.
and the city is not giving anything, not even from the fire department, we're not getting
Well,
But see-
anything.
I
but
think
see-
that's soon gonna come
Yeah.
out on wash day.
Like Chief Fulton said, it's adversely affected them with any futuristic grants. Because once you receive federal dollars, you have to be in compliance with the Uniform Crime Report and any other federal.
Yeah, 'cause they don't know
You got to be in
how.
compliance. Okay, that's it then.
And I'm sorry, everybody's, my morale is real down today, and plus I hadn't been feeling good, I
And
had
Chief, we gonna,
stomach flu, so I'm sorry.
we'll push it with you.
I know, we all are, but
And look,
anyway.
we gotta find this.
Get that to her.
You can
Thank
come back, we gonna be
you, thank you,
looking.
Chief, for everything you do.
Cause public safety.
Thank you,
We
Chief.
just gonna-
And I love you guys. and
I did ask
It's
about
all
it.
right. Just make it part of
She's
my.
probably one of the ones that was writing those letters back before the.
Yeah, well, we need to have the truth.
Trying
People
to
shouldn't
get
be
that
writing
clear,
stuff.
okay? You know, what,
Oh,
what you say?
we've been trying to get this resolution.
Yes,
Never-
sir.
Glad yeah.
What?
We've been trying to get the resolution for this, sir. I have asked,
Have we got it?
For him.
For,
him and Chief.
for both of us?
Yeah.
Oh, we did the resolution for him,
We
for
got,
his job. Yes, we did. It's signed.
Income. Well,
We
this
had to-
meeting is
Adjourned.
over,
We-
adjourned.
yeah.
But
We had to specify his income. All right, well, listen, all right. The league said that we don't have to do that. The league said that we don't have to do
That's
that.
what I
You don't have
thought
to
too.
put that.
Remember I
Yeah.
said that too.
But anyway, we're still going to do it.
Well, we were doing, because he said, I mean, there's a lot of contracts that's been lingering on. The gamble fund, big information and everything. And then that is for we just gotta get on what's his name too, it's a long thing.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Are you not getting sick?
Yes, ma'am.
You are? Okay.
So what's the difference? That's,
You get your money?
no?
Because Chris, you were his choice, weren't you?
What?
Well, he put me in.
Just saying,
He put you in his,
That's what I'm saying.
he put him in his.
But that can be.
No, I
That
don't.
can be
All right.
law.
He
I'm just gonna try to get it.
But he, no, I didn't.
No, I don't tell that.
You got to tell you something.
Damn.
All right, it'll be fixed.
Maybe should go back and pay
Can I use
his
it?
money.
I need you to write down on the back of this.
Yeah, he got to get
What
it.
it needs to be,
Yeah. You getting them?
what it is. I don't have any idea.
It's in this text.
And then if you got something to tell
We
me
got
about
it here, we got
It's
a
8,000.
budget.
that,
I
Kelly,
thought it was
Take it
more.
next week.
I need to look. I
But
have
wait,
no
I
idea.
know it is.
And what day we supposed to have our budget thing coming up?
I got it.
Set the date.
Okay.
Cause see, I didn't know, I just
What
thought.
day we supposed to have the budget thing?
Nigga, what I heard?
Nikki, what date is we supposed to have our budget, for
18, 19?
18?
18.
It's written that it's February the 18th.
Right.
At what time?
Yeah.
He ain't set the time.
This sitting behind me, that guy.
No, this Spencer. This, well, he, me and my, them, he runs from there. He's from, yeah, that's him.
Did he set a time?
He ain't set the time, but, Corey, what time we gonna meet? 5 o'clock, 5.
When?
But, budget, yes. Then we bring this back up. We talk about it. Yeah, so we'll put it, we bring it.
Anytime I look at those other items up on there. These other items.
Any word on Chief Collins, this training and the phone, so they still don't know?
I told you, we told you to go ahead. I just talked to Corey, we need this item, I told Susan.
What day?
Come here, Susan. I just talked to her. This item right here, he needs this. And I was telling you, the 2 items that he really need, we need to go ahead on. That's why I asked Ms. Wade.
I think
We need him to go ahead
We
on.
need to put on there, the only thing we're gonna be opening ourselves up for litigation from every other employee.
Well, we ain't doing that. I'm talking about what he really needs
I
right
know
now.
we need to do it.
First,
I need-
the pay rate, we gotta look at all the pay rates. But
And
right
then
here,
they'll want-
so what we want to do is for him to get this, the truck, and he needs 10, what you say, he needs 10,000. What the other 2?
Okay, then.
Yeah.
For those 2, I'm gonna add it.
Oh,
You said, I mean, I-
Okay, let me add it. Okay, first, what we